Hello and welcome back to Spirit Mom. Today we're going to discuss programming, software programming. We are computers and we have programming in us all the time, sent down through sacred geometry patterns into our auric energetic field, and they are now a part of us, something we have to live out. The one obvious way you see this is in the 7-year cycles of our life. So every 7 years we switch through a different chakra, and we start at the bottom, root all the way up to crown every 7 years. So for a full 7 years you're in the root, and so on and so on. And you can see this in the big 7-year switches, like around the bar mitzvah, around 21 when you can start drinking. You notice these big switches, right? Okay, well, we have other energetic patterns that come into us, and these are emotional. These are family lineage things that are existing. These are predetermined things we decided we want to do. These are things we want to figure out. Our soul is here on this science project, always worrying and figuring out and advancing itself on its path. That's really one of the only reasons why we're here, is to live out these programmings. And we want to do the ones that are put in by our soul. Yes, there's ones that try to get in there from evil overlords, and all we can do with that one is just sink into the God self, into our sovereignty, and that will automatically start nipping in the bud any negative ones that come to us. So that means saying no when we want to. That means standing up for ourselves. We don't live in the Jesus or William Wallace times. We're not going to be killed for saying what we think. So it's up to us to live in our sovereignty, and that cancels out the negative ones, right? But our positive ones, or even our own personal negative ones, we want to go through those with as much courage, as much positivity, and as much knowingness as possible. So that's staying aware, that's staying self-aware of when programmings come our way. So let's say you're at a pet store and you see a dog you want to adopt, and you feel this connection with the dog and you really want to do it. But you decide maybe that's too much work, you're too young, you don't want to be bothered, so you don't get the dog. That was a programming that your soul wants you to play out. But it's okay to ignore it then and there. It just means you have to do it later. Because let's say these are one of the ones you have to do later, and usually you're going to have to do all of your soul ones at some point, even if it's later in another life. So you want to get through all of those in this life. So you didn't adopt the dog, you're going to have to do that lesson 10, 15 years down the road. Maybe you don't even have to adopt a dog. Maybe you can just have a child, and that will live out that programming. And the programming could be don't beat the dog. The programming could be patience. The programming could be discovering a new aspect of yourself that causes that expansion. Usually that's most of the lessons are going to teach you something that's going to expand you. It's going to give you new places inside yourself you didn't know existed, but now they're going to feel like they were always there. That's part of enlightenment. That's part of heading up on the pillar, up that tree of life. You're always advancing and learning, and we do so with the programmings that come down inside of us and become a part of us. And we're going to walk through our lives and meet different people that are going to initiate those programmings. We're going to have things happen to us that are going to activate those programmings. We're literally going to walk through the energetic field in lifetime of that sacred geometry patterns that are going to waft us into that programming instantly. And depending on who set that programming up, you might be able to walk right back out of it. There's a lot of complicated things when it comes to the thoughts inside our brain. And the majority of the time, like, they're not actually as naturally, boop, I just thought of that out of nowhere. No, you didn't. It was a programming that was kicked into gear for a multitude of reasons that could get that going. And now you're living that program out. So we want to keep aware of where we see those programs. We want to keep aware of where we can find those programs, because when we jump into those programmings with power and knowledge and the energy to get it done, I'm going to solve this one this time. Now we are revolving at a rapid pace. We are expanding at a rapid pace. We might be able to get off this earth plane in this lifetime. We can ascend higher into the 5th dimension. It's all within us, and it does many great things when we decide to take the patterns, the programmings that have been handed to us, and solve them in the most beneficial way for us and the world as possible. And I know you can do it.